Good afternoon. I am Jamie. I'm going to start doing some readings today on just some of the events that have happened over the last week, as well as just some future predictions that I have. I want to start with the minerals deal with Ukraine. Just see what's going to happen with that. I don't believe Trump actually set up any sort of deal yet. It's just his usual bluster and big talk, his usual lies. So let's see what will happen with that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there might be some sort of deal, not a long-term one. It might get overthrown with the next president. It might be something more along the lines of discounted minerals for the U.S., but not full-on mineral rights, which is what Trump wants, which is a completely unfair option for Ukraine. So I think that will happen probably maybe by the end of summer. They'll finalize things. So next, what about this $5 million visa for citizenship Trump is offering? Will that even happen? I feel like there's something similar already in place where you can come in as a foreign investor on a visa. I don't think this is going to happen. I think the courts are going to throw it out. Like, just to become a U.S. citizen, people are going to need to still go through the proper channels. They're allowed to invest in the U.S. That brings jobs if needed, but that is not going to happen. He'll probably try to fight it to happen, but I don't think that's going to last too long. Let's try to get my mind off Trump for a minute, because that just has too much negative energy at the moment. How about the Pope? I know he's been hospitalized and he's been very ill. Will he pull through? What's going to happen with that? I think he will have a prolonged illness. He will probably resign before he passes, but I don't see him lasting too much longer as Pope. So we will definitely have a new Pope, probably by the end of the year, maybe even earlier. I kind of want to look again at the next president, just to give us some hope. I still see it as younger, probably late 40s, early 50s. I do have a feeling it might be another white man, but I do think he's gonna really be getting people excited about voting again. He's really gonna bring out the younger people. I see him just saying enough of the corporations, enough of the billionaires controlling everything. It's going to be someone that is really going to get people excited to vote again. I do think he will do a lot of good for the U.S. This next president. He will it'll be grassroots too, almost like that same thing that happened with Obama, where it was just people donating like $5-10 and raising those campaign funds for him. So that is something to look forward to. What about the protests going on? Will they do any good? Will there be violence? I still think we need to be careful. Definitely stand up for your rights. Don't do anything violent. Violence is just going to make things so much worse for us, because that will give him excuses to go for martial law. A heads up, if you see anything fluttering around, it's most likely not anything mystical. It's my bird flying and playing. So I definitely see a lot of protests, especially now that they have decided to cut back on Medicaid and SNAP. I remember a professor I had in college was like, had once said something like, you have to keep them fed and happy and they'll be good, but if you don't keep them fed, there's going to be riots. And I do think that's what we're going to be seeing. People will be hungry, they won't be able to afford medicine. There's just so many issues going on, all these federal programs being gutted and cut. No one's going to be happy. Farmers are angry about this. Everyone's angry about it. So I do feel like the people will be more likely to take it out on the corporations, the billionaires. I do think there will be some violence. I do think some of the protests will help, but some of the more violent ones really will not. I keep feeling like there is going to be some sort of attack coming up. My overall feeling is it will target politicians. I feel like it's in the U.S. Just the lack of I think there will be some sort of attack in the U.S., possibly targeting politicians. I think it's just the lack of intelligence after cutting FBI, CIA. It's just so much chaos. Our systems are breached. The security has failed us because of Trump. And I do see people understanding that when this attack happens. Aside from that, I do feel like a politician might be passing soon. I had a strange dream about Diane DeGette passing, but I do not think it was her. I think that was just... I actually looked at her page on Facebook briefly. I don't think it's her. I think it's an older politician, more likely a former politician. Is it a former politician? Yes. I think it's a former politician, so I don't think it's someone who is currently in office. I almost want to say if a former president might pass. What about Trump's health? For some reason, I keep seeing him in a wheelchair. What's going on with his health? definitely some health issues going on. And then you do see his dementia. I know a lot of people were pointing out that bruise on his hand over the weekend that he claimed was from shaking hands too much. I really don't think it is. He is, I mean, you have to remember, he is old. He is going to have some health problems. I almost wonder if he's going to have, like, maybe a stroke. So I do see he is going to have some major, I think he will have a major health event coming soon. Self-stop. That said, with Trump's health problems, will he be able to complete his term is the big question. I'm not seeing him able to do the term, and I don't know if it will be because of the health problems. I think his health problems will be a big part of it, but I feel like he might actually get impeached again. Let's look at the, will Vance be the president after Trump? He might take over for a short time, but that's definitely not the next president that I'm seeing as far as the next elected president. So I think he'll either be impeached or it'll be this health issue, but it seems more likely he's going to be impeached and removed. I do feel the Congress will go blue. Trump's people are going to have had enough. Of course, there's going to still be a few hardcore MAGA people out there, but it won't be nearly as dramatic. It's going to die off eventually, especially over the next couple of years. What are the consequences of this budget going to be? We're definitely going to see a lot of people losing support for Trump, a lot of people losing support for the Republicans. They feel betrayed, angry. I do see a lot of anger, especially with the red states, because that's going to be hit the hardest. I feel like a lot of blue states are going to be threatening to withhold federal taxes being sent to the feds. I don't know that they'll actually do it. They might. I do see them trying to help each other out. People will be hungry, they'll be sick, they won't be able to get their medications, they won't be able to put food on the table. They're going to see that Trump is looking out for billionaires, because that's who he cares about, who can get him the most money and win. What's going on between like Putin, Musk, and Trump? I really feel like Putin's upset with both of them. He feels like they're going in too hard. He obviously wants all this to happen, but he does feel like they're going in too hard, too fast. It's almost like some twisted love triangle. Trump kind of feels like he just does not need Putin anymore, and Putin is angry. Trump has Elon now. I feel like if Putin goes down, he's going to be taking Musk and Trump with him. And I do see him making these threats to both of them. And I do see Musk going down before Trump. What about these KGB Trump agent allegations? Will those be investigated? I've been seeing that going around Facebook about former KGB agent saying that that he had recruited Trump years ago. But will those actually be taken seriously and investigated? I think they will be. It'll be a long road, a hard road. I do see it being investigated, though, and taken seriously, especially in a couple of years once the Congress is blue and once... I do think Putin is going to try to bring both of them down with him, because he will try to bring them. What about weather events? I feel like we're going to have a little bit of a lull, but that's kind of the calm before the storm. I do see a lot of severe weather. I feel like we're going to have an awful tornado season. I keep feeling like we're going to have a big tornado in kind of a decent-sized town. Not a major city, but definitely something in a decent-sized town. So be aware if you do live in tornado-prone areas. I know those can come on pretty quickly. I see a lot of hailstorms, crazy windstorms. That said, I do feel like we're going to have a pretty nasty fire season. Some more in Canada, possibly Montana, Southern California, Colorado. I really feel like Florida is going to have a repeat of last year. It might even come on slightly earlier. I still feel like there might be some hurricanes coming from further north than what we've seen in the past. Maybe even towards maybe even close to Maryland, D.C. They might get a little something. Still feel like there might be an earthquake towards Southern California coming up. At least a decent sized one, not just one of the minor ones that we seem to often get. More earthquakes in Europe, possibly a couple in Asia coming. I do feel like there's going to be some more volcanic activity. I'm not sure where. It's not Yellowstone. I don't feel like Yellowstone's going to go, fortunately, with those cuts to the Forest Department, who actually are there to watch Yellowstone. I feel like something northwest, something in that area might go. I mentioned volcanoes last week, and I know, I think it was Etna was starting to go. But I do feel like there might be something going on. There are still, that's all I'm getting strong feelings about at the moment. There's always more upcoming though. But I think that's about all I have to say for these topics. I think I'll do an oracle card real quick. So it's my goddess oracles, and we have Demeter. So this is just talking about working through your emotions, your feelings, learning why you're having feelings, why you're having those emotions. I know this is a very emotional time for us, especially over the next few years. I really think we do have hope, though, for what's coming up. I really see that we're going to get through all of this. We need to show empathy towards those who are seeing Trump's true colors, who are wanting to get away from that. This is a very difficult mindset to get over, and it's a lot of work. Sometimes they just have strong family connections that are like, almost like you need to vote Republican or you're disowned. And when that seems to be their option, that's what they're going to vote for. It's easy to be raised in that. I know I was kind of brought up around that energy a lot when I was younger. But I do see them seeing Trump's colors. I see them wanting better for themselves, for their families. I do see they want more politicians that are going to be younger, that will help out the smaller businesses instead of the huge corporations that make billions of dollars every year. That's all I have today. Thanks.